Right, so I'm just going to do an update on this whole Audrey and Friends thing because it is genuinely ridiculous now. I'm fucking fed up with my combi players, not just with the Audrey and Friends tape. It's not just got Audrey on, it's got a ton of basically TV content, including Audrey away, just that one episode. I've got hundreds of videos recorded. Basically, when I do the transfer through a DVD, because I'm doing a DVD transfer with something like Audrey, for crying out loud, because it needs to be in best quality possible. So long story short, the reason why a lot of my stuff looks and plays like dog shit, and that tape in general looks like fucking dog shit, excuse my fucking language, but I am generally fed up with the whole thing now. The main VCR which we used was basically a low-end mono savers one from which my dad bought from the early 80s. We used it constantly. We never we did look after it well because it lasted until the early 2010s, which for a low-end saver cheap mono VCR is generally ridiculous, and is astounding how it lasted over 3 decades. We basically never cleaned the video heads properly. We used it, I think, practically every day for using a mixture between, timer recordings and using a mixture of using long play mode. And a lot of the manufactured videotapes that we used were the 4 hour ones and also the 5 hour one. Basically, I'd say 90% of my videotapes are all 4 hour and 5 hour ones, which is terrible because we used a mix. They've all been heavily recorded on in a mixture of standard play and long play. We had 3 VCRs, but like I said, the main one we used was that crappy low end mono one, which is fucking the worst thing you can fucking do. So, which is why a lot of them also, you can tell, could look a lot better if I again just stuck to one combi instead of using a mixture of capture cards. But the reason why, again, I'm going to get into that. I've used the best combi players you could use, and if you look at how you can tell that I've cut stuff out, and the reason why I've cut stuff out is because I generally try copying it across and doing the whole thing. It basically comes up with no signal is detected, and when I see that, I basically think to myself, for actual fuck's sake, what do you mean no signal detected? It pisses me the fuck off because example is I've got a ton of good stuff on them. Like I'm doing this, well, I've done it now because I can't do it. What I'm getting at is I can't do it because it keeps fucking completely skipping through. I've basically done everything you can think of, manually track it, auto track it, basically everything that you can possibly think of. Elephant in the room is, again, it's recorded through it's recorded on a crappy VCR in long play mode on a heavily used blank, which is basically means it's gonna play like absolute dog shit anyway. But I've got hundreds of fucking good, amazing content. Example with that one I tried to do, it was like a Richard 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 Blackwood interview with Buffy when basically Buffy season 6 came out. It's got a ton of fucking good content. It's got loads of on digital and Sky digital TV content. It's got fucking Family Guy, for crying out loud, on its when it was basically brand new. Season 2 was brand new in the UK. Got a couple of episodes recorded on that. Shit plays like absolute dog crap. It's got basically a Destiny's Child concert from MTV, and during the ad breaks there's a ton of basically channel hopping through on digital. Literally, it fucking does that SP to LP fucking thing, and I'm thinking, for actual fuck's sake, like, I sound so pathetic being a 21-year-old who is very lucky enough to basically survive in the real world, because I am on the spectrum, but I can cope. I have to say it in a way which I hope doesn't sound offensive to anyone who's watching this, but it's ridiculous because I've got so much fucking content on the game fucking back. Anyway, that's the kind of behaviour that I do when something doesn't go my way, because I'm an obnoxious, spoiled little brat. But it's so fucking unfair. I generally want someone to dox my address and just take them from me at this point. Because there was this person, who was he's severely autistic. He would like my Charmed collection that I've got through basically a series, and he knows exactly what he's doing because he's been doing it since. He's basically very technical, and he knows every kind of thing he can use VCR wise and old technology wise. He's got basically, I think, over 100 different VCRs and different recorded players and hard disk drives as well. But I decided to give the guy a full refund because he went through a couple of them and he found the whole experience extremely stressful. Like, I could tell he was getting fed up with it. So I basically had to I felt bad for the guy and gave him a full refund straight away, because it's generally a nightmare to get these things going. So I still have his contact. I'm thinking about just giving these to people who know exactly what they're doing as freebies, because I've generally kind of been fed up with a lot of them now. I do want to keep them, but at the same time, for nostalgic purposes, it's not really worth it, considering it's also not exactly the best thing for anyone's mental health to be dealing with, extremely dated vintage items such as videotapes. Not just videotapes, but just discs as well. And on the topic of my recorded DVDs, all of the stuff that you've seen of my DVDs, there's a ton of content on them. The stuff you've seen is only a small portion of them, because I've tried every converter and disc ripper software you can use. The powerful, strong ones like DVD. Again, looking at my DVD Flick, Make, MKV, MKV, Burnaware. There's a lot more to it than that. There's the Burning Studio, the company that basically make the Burning Studio, but they have another software where you basically rip your DVDs, and all of them were an absolute nightmare. One thing I would like, and I'll make a separate video on explaining it because I'm curious about it. Long story short, there's basically, you'll notice on the 2009 one, which a lot of people have wanted, were impressed by when I uploaded it originally. That's got a ton of other content on them, and I'm pissed off because I think I know what's exactly on those files. I don't know what the hell the problem is with it, because it reads the data on it. It basically says, example, title 2, and then it has the time duration of the whole thing. So the data is clearly on there. It's not corrupted at all. I don't know what the hell the issue is. I tried doing exactly one file, and every software I've used, it either just crashes it or it just comes up with an immediate, error message, and then it just shuts down the software immediately. I'm thinking, no one has ever had that problem. I think as well, we had it was a strong, powerful, high-end DVD recorder, but I generally think we had a problem with with it, because that also explains why my fam were using videos as late as 2013. We used a different, because I used to use a different kind of mix of things. I used to use videos, DVDs, my Sky Plus HD box, my Freeview recorders, and other like my Virgin Media boxes as well. I used to record on, and I had loads of you know, hard disk drives where I would just, you know, set and record stuff in high quality. My hard disk drives, for the most part, I think are completely fine. They're not corrupted. They're all on there. One that I know definitely has, which has always worked, has a lot of it's mainly filled with Disney XD and Cartoon Network stuff from the very early 2010s. There's some other content on there, but a lot of that other stuff's my dad's stuff, so it's just stuff like football matches, cricket matches, and basically old documentaries, boring documentaries from like the History Channel and Discovery. Anyway, they're all fine, so the footage is there at least. Other hard drives though, here you are, you know. It's not that much of an issue because again, it's just sending them to the correct people who know exactly what they're doing. Because as long as I, you know, let people be and let people explain what they're doing, you know what I mean. So this whole thing, I'm annoyed because I'm stressed out of work. My driving lessons aren't going exactly the way I want because I generally just need to focus on one thing rather than doing multiple things at a time. Because I do want to improve on multitasking, which is what I'm doing exactly right now. My lecturer, my professor is fine with my work, so that's all out of the way for Christmas, thank God. But work-wise, I'm working 2 jobs. I got the day off, luckily. Even my managers are saying to me, just relax. And I'm thinking, I can't. I'm rarely ever happy. Only when alcohol and I'm using drugs, I'm ever happy, which is not a good sign. If you're under the age of 18 watching this, please do not use. I take it into consideration, and I shouldn't be using drugs because I am always over the top. I'm just over the top in general. But yeah, I hope everyone is having a great day, better than me, because I'm generally fed up with these videos now. I'm generally losing the plot again. To quote the iconic song, cut my life into pieces, this is my last resort. Suffocate me, no breathing. I'm breathing. Peace out, niggers.